Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit and the cop.
A rumor no one expected detonated inside Yamaha's garage. Just hours before Toprak Razgatlioglu returned to ride the violent and unpredictable Yamaha V4 prototype, whispers spread through the paddock claiming that Fabio Quartararo had secretly attempted to access Toprak's classified braking data. Engineers froze. Conversations stopped mid-sentence. The air inside the garage shifted, thick with suspicion. This wasn't just any data. It was the most prized, heavily protected information Yamaha possessed. And as both riders prepared for one of the most important tests in Yamaha's modern era, this rumor ignited a storm that threatened to tear the team apart, change Yamaha's development strategy, and shape the future of their entire MotoGP project. But the truth behind the chaos would only come to light much later. Behind the closed garage doors, the tension worsened. According to insiders, the catalyst was a spike detected inside Yamaha's telemetry access logs. The files involved weren't generic sheets or routine logs. They were the ultra-classified braking profiles belonging to Toprak. Only a handful of Japanese engineers were permitted to open these files, each access authenticated, encrypted, and recorded. Toprak's braking wasn't merely aggressive. It was something that perplexed and fascinated MotoGP engineers across the paddock. His markers went meters deeper than logic should allow. His fork compression pushed mechanical limits. His deceleration spikes looked like numbers from a simulation rather than a human rider. So, when whispers hinted that Fabio tried to look into those files, whether intentionally, accidentally, or out of curiosity, the garage immediately turned colder. Yamaha responded by tightening telemetry firewalls, restricting access to only 3 senior engineers, and quietly initiating a deeper internal review. Fabio looked visibly uncomfortable. His body language grew guarded. Toprak, however, carried an eerie calmness, almost amused by the uproar, as if silently saying, "Look, if you want, you won't be able to copy it." But when Yamaha's investigation uncovered something unexpected inside the access logs, the tension inside the team only escalated. The situation grew even more intense when Toprak arrived for the crucial V4 test. He didn't need theatrics or showmanship. He walked in with the quiet aura of a warrior returning to the battlefield. His focus was razor-sharp. Yamaha engineers looked at him not just as a rider, but as the experimental weapon the entire V4 project depended on. The bike prepared for him was an unpredictable animal, a savage torque curve, aggressive aero designed to tame front-end chaos, a stiffened chassis built to survive extreme braking, electronics rewritten from scratch to handle his violent, physics-bending riding style. This wasn't a motorcycle for the faint-hearted. It was a machine only a handful of riders on Earth could control. When the V4 prototype fired up for the first time, the noise sliced through the garage and every mechanic straightened instinctively. This sound didn't belong to a simple test session. It was the beginning of the most important development step Yamaha had taken in 20 years. But before the wheels turned, a journalist outside the garage stirred the paddock into chaos. Veteran MotoGP voice Julian Ryder triggered a wave of uproar with a prediction that divided fans instantly. With a calm smile, Ryder stated Toprak would struggle to finish inside the top 10 during his debut season, and that any podiums would likely come only at unusual circuits like Sachsenring. Fans exploded with anger. They attacked Ryder online, calling his forecast dismissive and disrespectful toward a 3-time WSBK champion. But Ryder defended his stance. MotoGP, he argued, was a different world. Multi-stage aerodynamics, sensitive electronics, precise Michelin behavior, and a level of intensity unmatched by any other racing series. His analysis made sense to experts, but emotionally, it struck a nerve. The paddock noise grew louder, and the next voice to join the discussion didn't calm anything down. It made the situation even more explosive. Jack Miller then delivered a message that wasn't meant to criticize Toprak at all. Instead, it was a psychological warning drawn from personal experience. He spoke about how MotoGP breaks riders mentally long before it breaks them physically. Unreasonable expectations, especially for champions coming from other categories, can crush confidence and destroy momentum. He explained how overpushing leads to doubt and how a single mistake creates a chain reaction that's hard to recover from. But fans misinterpreted his intention. They twisted his caution into insult. Social media narratives quickly painted Miller as afraid of Toprak, threatened, or trying to protect himself. The uproar grew wider, and at the center of all this noise, Fabio suddenly found himself in a position he hadn't expected, overshadowed by a newcomer who hadn't even raced a single MotoGP lap. But while analysts tried to preach realism, fans built a different narrative. As Toprak's testing footage spread online, something myth-like began to form. His sideways braking, his violent fork dive, his ability to stop the bike as if gravity bent to his will. For many fans, it looked like the only rider capable of matching peak Marc Marquez. Soon, the storyline escalated into a wildfire. Toprak can challenge Marquez in his first season. Toprak is the chaos Yamaha needs. Toprak is the future of MotoGP. And while this hype excited the fanbase, the psychological weight fell directly onto Fabio. For years, he had been Yamaha's chosen star. Now, a newcomer was stealing the oxygen from the room. Then, Greg Haynes, someone who understood Toprak more deeply than most commentators, stepped in to deliver the most balanced and unexpected analysis. He argued that 2025 shouldn't be viewed as a championship year for Toprak at all. It would be a transition season, a period of learning new tires, new aero, new electronics, then adapting to Yamaha's completely reimagined V4 philosophy. Even with elite mental strength, Haynes warned the adaptation curve would be steep. But then came the twist. Haynes said the real war wouldn't begin until 2027, the same year MotoGP switches from Michelin to Pirelli. And suddenly, everything clicked. Toprak would be the only rider on the grid with long-term Pirelli mastery. He would understand grip behaviors, heat cycles, and tire communication long before anyone else. Analysts realized this could become a massive advantage. And it meant Yamaha's long-term gamble wasn't for 2025, it was for the Pirelli era. But before dreams of 2027 could mean anything, Yamaha still needed to solve the present, a wild, chaotic, borderline uncontrollable V4 motorcycle. Inside the garage, engineers whispered that the bike behaved less like a machine and more like a living creature. Violent at low speed, unpredictable under throttle, brutal through acceleration. It didn't reward smoothness, which made life extremely difficult for Fabio. His corner speed technique wasn't compatible with the V4's aggressive character. But Toprak, his instinctive style matched the bike perfectly. According to one Yamaha technician, his braking telemetry looked not human. Some engineers thought the sensors had malfunctioned. Others laughed in disbelief. Values so extreme they questioned the limits of the chassis. And this was exactly why the rumor about Fabio trying to access the data became a ticking bomb. Toprak's data wasn't simply information, it was the blueprint of Yamaha's future. If Fabio learned even half of it, Yamaha would have two weapons. But no one knew if Toprak's style could be replicated at all. Everything, every rumor, every prediction, every debate built toward one decisive moment, the test day. As Toprak approached the V4, the garage fell into complete silence. Mechanics stepped aside. Engineers fixed their eyes on him. Fabio watched from the shadows, expression tight, caught between curiosity and pressure. Toprak tightened his gloves, adjusted his suit, lowered his visor slowly. The world around him faded. His body language delivered a message without a single word. I don't need to answer rumors. My riding will answer for me. Then the V4 screamed to life, a violent roar, a sound filled with danger and promise. Toprak launched from the pit lane with a force that made the garage flinch. The bike twisted, the exhaust howled, and the man who bends physics disappeared into the first corner. And in that moment, the entire paddock understood. This wasn't the end of Yamaha's chaos. It was only the beginning of a new era. An era defined by conflict, brilliance, danger, and the rider whose data the world is desperate to understand.